A very good morning and thanks for tuning into the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television, the perfect show to kickstart your day, bringing you the top national, international sports and business news. I'm Ashwarya Kapoor and here are the headlines. Cyclonic storm Madai makes a landfall near Gopalpur in Odisha. Heavy downpour and high-velocity winds sweep several parts of the state. NDRF and ODRF are deployed in different districts. Chief Minister reviews situation, asks officials in coastal districts to be alert. Three Ds, democracy, demographic dividend and demand give India a unique advantage in the world, says Vice President during his address to the Indian community in Romania, asks them to reconnect with India, be part of its growth story. Poverty rate in India has nearly halved over a 10-year period from 2005 to 2016, says a UN report. Over 27 crore people have moved out of poverty in the decade. US welcomes news of foreign minister level talks between India and Pakistan, says it hopes conditions will be set for good and strong relationship in the future. Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj to meet Pakistani counterpart Mahmood Qureshi on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York next week. And India to play Bangladesh in one of the two Super 4 matches at the Asia Cup in Dubai. Pakistan to play Afghanistan in the second match in Abu Dhabi. Both matches at 5 p.m. today. A top story this Friday morning, India and Pakistan will resume the stalled foreign ministers' talks after 3 years. External Affairs Ministry said that the talks will take place in New York later this month. The last of such talks took place in 2015. Both the foreign ministers will also take part in the SAARC foreign ministers meet at that occasion. Take a look at this report.
External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj and Pakistan Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi will meet on the sidelines of UNGA in New York later this month. A decision to this effect was taken in Cabinet Committee on Security on Wednesday after a formal request was received from Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan and Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi on 17 September.
I can confirm that on the request of the Pakistani side, a meeting between External Affairs Minister and Pakistani Foreign Minister will take place on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly at a mutually convenient date and time.
The MEA spokesperson said the talks will focus on several issues, including visa-free entry to Sikh pilgrims through the Kartarpur corridor. However, he clarified that this is a meeting at the request of Pakistan and not the beginning of the formal comprehensive dialogue between the two countries. The meeting could take place before 29 September, when the External Affairs Minister will address the UNGA.
I must distinguish between a meeting and a dialogue. This should not be confused with a resumption of any dialogue. This is a meeting which we have agreed to based on the request which we have got from the Pakistani side. This does not indicate any change in the policy as far as our stand on terrorism and cross-border terrorism is concerned.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi had greeted Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan after his election. In his first address to the nation after assuming office, Imran Khan said he will work to ensure better relations with India.
It is necessary to understand the mood and the mind of the new government in Pakistan because it's a neighbor. But what I am getting from my high-placed sources that it will be a tough talk on terror by Indian side. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha television with camera person Manoj in Delhi.
And the United States has hailed India's acceptance of Pakistani proposal for talks between the foreign ministers on the sidelines of the ongoing annual UN General Assembly session. Washington termed the development as a terrific news. State Department spokesperson Heather Nauert said that US hopes that the conditions will be set for a strong and a good relationship and that the relationship will continue in the future as well. News from Odisha now, where cyclonic storm Dai with a speed of about 23 km per hour crossed the coast near Gopalpur in Odisha early on Friday. The storm triggered heavy downpour accompanied by high-velocity winds in several parts of the state. The impact of the cyclonic storm was felt more in Gajapati, Ganjam, Nayagar and Puri districts. Now, the Met Department has said that danger signs with the signal number 3 have been hoisted at all parts of Odisha. Met Department also said that under its impact, a heavy to very heavy rainfall is likely to lash several parts of the state in Odisha till Saturday. The cyclonic warning division's advisory warned that the sea will be very rough over the central and the north Bay of Bengal and off the coasts of Odisha, West Bengal and North Andhra Pradesh as well. Now, Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik has directed all the officials to keep a close watch on the situation and take steps to ensure no loss of life. NDRF and ODRF have also been deployed at different districts. And a central team would tour various parts of Kerala from today to assess the damage caused by the recent devastating floods in the state. The 11-member inter-ministerial team headed by Special Secretary of the Home Ministry, B.R. Sharma, will be in the state till 24th of September. Now, according to an official statement, the team will undertake on-the-spot assessment of the damage and additional requirement of the funds. The state government had sent a memorandum seeking 4,700 crore rupees as compensation for the damage caused due to rains and floods, considered to be worst in a century. Now, besides this, the government has also sought a comprehensive package to rebuild Kerala, which had suffered a damage estimated to be more than 40,000 crore rupees. The team would also be holding talks with the Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan on 24th of September before returning to Delhi. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday laid the foundation stone of the India International Convention and Expo Centre in Delhi. And speaking at the ceremony, Prime Minister Modi said that in the past 50 months, the NDA government has established a transparent governance system in the country. He also asserted that his government will not shy away from taking tough decisions in national interest.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday asserted that his government have the courage to take tough decisions in national interest. Speaking at the foundation-laying ceremony of the India International Convention and Expo Centre at Dwarka in Delhi, Prime Minister Modi cited the merger of 3 public sector banks, Dena Bank, Vijaya Bank and Bank of Baroda in this regard. The merger that created the 3rd largest lender in the country had been pending for the past 2.5 decades.
देश में पिछले 4 वर्षों में चौतरफा विकास इसलिए संभव हो पाया, उन्हीं संसाधनों के रहते सरकार बेहतर काम इसलिए कर पाई क्योंकि राष्ट्रहित को सर्वोपरि रखा गया, व्यवस्थाओं को सही दिशा की तरफ मोड़ा गया। साथियों, मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूं कि जनहित में मुश्किल से मुश्किल फैसले लेने का ये सिलसिला जारी रहेगा।
Speaking at the ceremony, Prime Minister Modi said that Indian economy is growing at 8% per annum and would double to $5 trillion by 2022. He added that manufacturing and agriculture sectors will contribute $1 trillion each to the economy. The Prime Minister also said massive employment generation is underway in IT and retail sectors.
देश के IT सेक्टर में भी रोजगार निर्माण में जबरदस्त वृद्धि देखने को मिल रही है। रिटेल के क्षेत्र में अभूतपूर्व अवसर बन रहे हैं। अकेला ई-कॉमर्स सेक्टर ही $50 अरब से अधिक का रेवेन्यू जनरेट कर रहा है। जितना ये व्यापक हो रहा है, उतना ही अधिक रोजगार भी दे पा रहा है।
Prime Minister Modi said his government is working to provide world-class infrastructure and enable ease of doing business in the country. He further said the convention centre will have state-of-the-art facilities and will give a boost to startups and industry.
स्टार्टअप के लिए सबसे बड़ी समस्या अपने आइडियाज को निवेशकों तक पहुंचाने की होती है। देश के इनोवेटिव यूथ के लिए ये बहुत बड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म बनेगा, जहां आइडिया और इनोवेशन की चर्चा से लेकर फंडिंग और ब्रांडिंग की मार्केटिंग तक आसानी से की जा सकेगी।
Earlier, Prime Minister Modi took the Airport Express Metro from Dholakua to Dwarka to reach the venue to avoid traffic jams due to VVIP movement. Built to seat 10,000 people, the state-of-the-art exhibition cum convention centre will be among the top 3 in Asia and top 5 in the world for its seating capacity. The centre is being built on 221 acres at an estimated cost of 25,700 crore rupees. Panchanan Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday interacted with the Asha workers from across the country. A group of 90 representatives thanked him for the recent announcement to increase their incentives and insurance cover. And Prime Minister Modi also encouraged Asha workers to work in coordination with the other government agencies to improve the quality of life in villages. And appreciating the skill and dedication of Asha workers, he recalled that Bill and Melinda Gates had praised their efforts towards the eradication of diseases such as Kala Azar. Accredited social health activists or the Asha workers are the health workers instituted by the Union Health and Family Welfare Ministry as part of the National Rural Health Mission. And the Niti Aayog has said that as many as 27 states and union territories are ready to join the ambitious healthcare scheme Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. The Prime Minister will launch the scheme on 23rd of September, but effectively it will become operational from 25th of September. The agency added that over 15,000 hospitals, both public and private across the country, have expressed their willingness to be empanelled for the scheme. The mega healthcare scheme aims to provide 10.74 crore poor families health insurance. Now, billed as the world's largest government healthcare program, it will be funded with a 60% contribution coming from the central government and the remaining from the states. On to some other news now. The Home Ministry on Thursday signed an agreement with the ISRO for the setting up of the state-of-the-art integrated control room for emergency response. The ICRER will deal with the disaster and internal security-related urgency and will address the requirement of receipt of information on a real-time basis. Now, in a statement, the ministry said that the Indian Space Research Organisation or ISRO will render its technical expertise for the proposed ICRER, whereas the project will be executed under its overall supervision. It added that the proposed control room is expected to be established in the next 1.5 years. In breakfast news, time for a very short break here. We'll be right back with more news.
We are destined to be one of the big stars of this world. We must excel on many fronts. Our history has taught us that technology can do huge amount of good to human life. But we must use it rationally and sensibly. We are producing people with good comprehension, but we are not bringing out their creativity strongly. And that requires a mix of education and experience.
Watch Eureka with Dr. Maharaj Kishan Bhan, former Secretary, Department of Biotechnology. Saturday 4 p.m. and Sunday 12 noon. Only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back after the break. Finance Minister Arunjaitley has accused Congress President Rahul Gandhi of spreading a falsehood by repeating concocted lies in connection with the Rafale deal and waiving loans given to 15 industrial houses. In a Facebook post, the finance minister replied to Rahul Gandhi's charges made during his political rallies, saying that not a single rupee of any debtor has been waived by the BJP government. He said that the loans to the country's 12 defaulters were given out prior to 2014, and it was only the present government that was making recoveries. The finance minister added that the defaulters are losing their companies and assets as they are being auctioned to recover their dues. Now, slamming Rahul Gandhi, Arunjaitley said, and I quote him now, "In mature democracies, those who rely on falsehood are considered unfit for public life. Many have been banished from political activity because they were caught lying. But this rule obviously cannot apply to a dynastic organization like the Congress party. If the Rafale concoctions were the first big lie, the second one that has been stated repeatedly is that Mr. Modi waived off 2.5 lakh crore rupees of 15 industrialists. Every word of that sentence repeatedly uttered by Rahul Gandhi is false," quote unquote. On to some other news now. Deputy Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Nath on Thursday flew the first Rafale fighter jets manufactured by Dassault Aviation for India. Now, Nambiar, who reached Paris 4 days ago, flew the aircraft in France to assess its ability. He is in France to also assess the progress in the production of Rafale jets by Dassault Aviation. The delivery of the jets that are capable of carrying a range of potent weapons and missiles is scheduled to begin from September next year. A team of the Indian Air Force is already in France to help the Dassault Aviation to incorporate India-specific avionics and the weapon systems in the aircraft. And on the last leg of his three-nation Europe tour, Vice President Venkaiah Naidu addressed the Indian diaspora in Bucharest. He asked them to reconnect with India and be part of its growth story. Venkaiah Naidu said that India-Romania relations are filled with warmth and affection. He said the diaspora's role in connecting and developing ties with Romania is important. He also said that there is a huge potential for investment and trade between the two nations. Now, stressing that 3 Ds, namely democracy, demographic dividend and demand, give India a unique advantage in the world. He said that there is a need to tap the huge potential in India's youth to meet the growing demand of skilled manpower.
Whether you are here through the chance of history or the opportunities of globalization, each one of you has become part of Romania's unique fabric and its progress. You represent the diversity of India in Romania. I am happy to know how you all have become a bridge between the two countries and the people. World's engagement with India is at a new level. Every country wants to engage with India. The entire world is looking towards India, watching keenly what is happening in India, the transformation that is taking place in India. The growth of the country is also being appreciated by one and all. Democracy, demographic dividend and demand give India a unique advantage in the world. We are a vibrant democracy. 1.3 billion people of India generate huge demand. We are a young nation with 800 million strong youth that has a huge aspirational future before it. 65% of the Indian population are between 35 to 40 years of age. It's a great demographic dividend for us. At the same time, we are an aspirational India. To tap the potential, the youth, the prime moves of tomorrow's India. To tap this potential, we are working in a campaign mode to skill India's youth.
The Vice President returned to India early today after wrapping up his three-nation visit to Serbia, Malta and Romania. The IT Ministry is reportedly planning to send a third notice to WhatsApp, asserting that it bring in a traceability of the messages on its platform. The American firm has maintained that enabling traceability will impact end-to-end encryption and violate privacy of users. Now, according to government sources, an internal discussion was held on the issue, and a third letter could now be sent to WhatsApp in the next 7 to 10 days. Now, the ministry feels that technical solutions can be found to trace the originator of a message without actually compromising on end-to-end encryption. WhatsApp has already been slapped with 2 notices, with the second one warning that it will be liable to be treated as a bettor and can face legal consequences if it remains mute spectator. On to the other top story. Over 27 crore people have moved out of poverty in India in the decade since 2005-2006, according to a United Nations report. The report also says that the poverty rate in the country has nearly halved over the next 10-year period. The 2018 Global Multidimensional Poverty Index was released by the United Nations Development Programme and the Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative, and it said that about 130 crore people live in multidimensional poverty globally. The report said that while there is much that needs to be done to tackle poverty globally, there are promising signs that such poverty can be and is being tackled. The index noted that in India, over 27 crore people moved out of poverty between 2005-2006 and 2015-16. The poverty rate in the country has nearly halved, falling from 55% to 28% over this 10-year period. Now, India is the first country for which progress over time has been estimated. Winners of the National Youth Parliament competition were awarded in a function organised by the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs on Thursday. And speaking at the event, Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs Arunjaitley stressed on the importance of good oratorial skills in Parliament. Here is a report.
The winning team of the National Youth Parliament competition on Thursday showed how Parliament functions. Arunjaitley, Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs, was the chief guest at the function.
तो 2 मिनट की बात कभी-कभी लोकसभा में बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होती है। इसलिए तो पक्ष के लोग भी बोले, विपक्ष के लोग भी बोले। आज मुझे लगा कि जिस तरह से ये धारदार भाषण दे रहे थे, तो मुझे सुषमा स्वराज की भी याद आ गई कि इनमें भी इन प्रतिभाओं में भी जो ये प्रतिभाएं यहाँ बैठी हैं, चाहे पक्ष की और विपक्ष की हो, इसमें सुषमा स्वराज बनने की क्षमता है।
In his speech, the minister emphasized the importance of oratory in Parliament. He gave the examples of late Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Union Minister Sushma Swaraj.
मैं रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहूँगा पार्लियामेंट्री मिनिस्ट्री से कि ऐसे प्रोग्रामों का आयोजन जो है वो आगे भी करते रहें, क्योंकि ऐसे प्रोग्रामों के अंदर ही हमारे अच्छे जो लीडर हैं वो तो बन के निकलेंगे ही, इसके साथ साथ हमारे बच्चों को सेल्फ रिस्ट्रेन, सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस और म्यूचुअल कोऑपरेशन की बातें जो हैं वो सीखने को मिलती हैं।
The Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs organizes the event every year in order to inculcate the feeling of democracy amongst the youth. Aruna Thakur's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Let's get you all the international news now. The United States has sanctioned the Chinese military for buying Russian fighter planes and missiles and has blacklisted more than 30 Russians. The U.S. State Department said that it would immediately impose sanctions on China's Equipment Development Department, the branch of the Chinese military responsible for weapons and equipment, and its director for engaging in significant transactions with Russia's main arms exporter in the year 2018. The U.S. administration also blacklisted an additional 33 people and entities associated with the Russian military and intelligence. It added them to a list under the 2017 law known as Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act, or CATSA, that was passed by Congress amid concern that President Donald Trump would not take tough action against Russia. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has said that China was a greater threat to the U.S. than Russia. In an interview to a news channel, Pompeo said that highly centralized and non-transparent Chinese government, which is aggressive in its military posture with its economic strength and treats intellectual property and religious minorities horribly, poses a far greater threat to the United States than Russia. And at least 44 people have died after a ferry carrying hundreds of people capsized on Lake Victoria in Tanzania. The accident happened between two islands in Lake Victoria, which is the largest lake in Africa, which straddles the borders of Tanzania, Uganda and Kenya. The ferry overturned near the shore between the islands of Ukora and Buglora. The ferry was carrying more than 400 passengers. The officials said that the number of people who drowned could be more than 200. About 100 people were rescued by Thursday night, of which several are said to be in a critical condition. The rescue operation was halted because of poor visibility at the scene yesterday, and rescue efforts are going to resume this morning. It is thought that overloaded vessel toppled over when crowds on board moved to one side as it docked. Let's get you all the sporting action. First up, cricket. India will take on Bangladesh at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium in their Super 4 clash of the Asia Cup today. India had won their opening match against Hong Kong and defeated Pakistan by 8 wickets in the second group match, while Bangladesh defeated Sri Lanka by 137 runs, but they lost their second group game to Afghanistan. In the other Super 4 match, Afghanistan will face Pakistan today. Pakistan had won their opening match against Hong Kong by 8 wickets, but they lost their second match to India by 8 wickets, while Afghanistan defeated Sri Lanka in their opening clash by 91 runs and thrashed Bangladesh by 136 runs. Afghanistan defeated Bangladesh by 136 in their Group B Asia Cup match yesterday. Now chasing a target of 256 runs, the Bangladeshi side was bundled out for just 119 overs in 42.1 overs. Bangladesh kept on losing wickets at regular intervals. Shakib Al Hasan was the highest scorer for Bangladesh with his knock of 32, but the rest of the team failed to contribute much. Earlier, batting first, Afghanistan posted 255 runs on board for the loss of 7 wickets in 50 overs. Hashmatullah Shahidi scored 58, while Rashid Khan marked his birthday with a knock of 57 runs off just 32 deliveries to put Afghanistan in a comfortable position. An Indian women's team will take on Sri Lanka in their second T20 match in Colombo today. The Indian women's team is leading the 5-match T20 series 1-0. In the first T20 international, the team defeated Sri Lanka by 13 runs. Batting first, the Indian side had posted 168 runs on board for the loss of 8 wickets in their allotted 20 overs, and chasing the target of 169 runs, the Lankan side were bundled out for 155 runs in 19.3 overs. In the earlier match, India defeated Sri Lanka 2-1 in the 3-match ODI series. Ace Indian shuttler Kidambi Srikanth has reached the quarterfinals of the China Open. Kidambi Srikanth defeated Supan Avihing Sanan of Thailand 21-12, 15-21, 24-22 in the men's singles. He will now face Kento Momota of Japan in the quarterfinal today. And earlier in the women's singles, PV Sindhu defeated Busanon of Thailand 21-23, 21-13, 21-18 to move to the quarterfinals. And she will face Chen Yufei of China today. In the mixed doubles, Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy and Ashwini Punappa crashed out of the tournament after losing to their Chinese opponents. And that's it from me and my team in this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching.